if it's recording to the sound card. We'll just go. We got
We'll figure it
we
out.
got 2 minutes of just talking out of
How
our
long?
asses, Earl.
2 minutes?
Can you hear me if I lean back like this and get all
Absolutely.
casual?
Absolutely. So I want to ask you this,
Yes.
Mr. Ernie over there. What do you feel about pitching a game hungover? You know anything about it? What's your opinion? 'Cause I think it's fucking awesome.
That's good. I'm going to come back to that. Let me come back to that because I'm calling this our episode 1, so we'll do our intros.
Okay.
Because this is the one that's like, some producer in Hollywood is going to listen to this episode and be like, fucking sign these guys right now, millions of dollars. And he's like, I don't know, like we gotta get the intros.
Honestly, like I could see easily minimum 500,000 starting.
I would throw money at us.
Absolutely.
What if there's like an executive and he wants to get fired, and he's just like, I fucking saw the best podcast I've ever seen. These dudes were so prepared. Baseball, huge following. We need to give $1 million signing bonuses. Hottest podcast is going to blow Joe Rogan out of the water, and we get the call tomorrow. So,
dude, they're going to go to Joe Buck and be like, man, you're fired.
That's what I'm thinking might happen.
Your approach to the game is outdated. These two right here know, right?
I mean,
we're the equivalent to pitching a game hungover.
I'm realistic that that's probably not going to happen, but anything's possible, Earl.
Right.
So we'll just go as if, and we'll do our intros on how we met, and then we'll free ball back to pitching drunk or hungover.
Maybe both.
Both. Some guys are better drunk. I forget Leo DeRocher was coaching. I think he's coaching the Brooklyn Dodgers for a couple of years. He had a guy who's like, give that guy a nip of whiskey. He's a little bit better.
Because some people, when they're this is a true thing too. This is when you're drunk, you're more loose.
It's true.
So you're not nervous. You're not as stressed. So you just do your thing.
That's good.
That's why I think David Wells had a no-hitter.
Probably. Doc Ellis. Of course, Doc Ellis was apparently ashamed that he threw a no-hitter on acid, but it still happened, and that's awesome.
He probably was on the mound and he was just in a field. He was like, he didn't see nobody, no players, no fans. He was like, you know what? Just me out here. I'm just gonna cruise through this game.
I think there's a lot there, but for all the Spotify executives that are listening, I'm bigger in Granville than my ace, Earl the Pearl Raymond. Earl, go ahead and introduce yourself, buddy.
Well, my name is Earl Raymond, obviously. He just said, I also have an alias. I go by Dutch Chattahoochee. That's
also true.
That's my baseball alias. Like, when I'm out on the field, that's who I become.
It is Dutch Chattahoochee. I have one, too. Do you want to hear what mine is?
Absolutely.
It's T-Texas Tony Turnstile.
Like, that rings in my head like a guy who pitches and hits, but equally well.
I consider myself the most preeminent underground baseball journalist in the entire world. And
you have a side
tied for first with you, Earl.
And you have a side gig as a DJ.
Yeah, side gig is what is it? Turnstile? I guess a turnstile. I always think of like the turnstile when you go into the stadium and it like clicks as you go through.
By the intro, yeah.
Yeah.
We pay your ticket.
Turntables too. I could be when I'm musical. I'm turntable.
Ticket, please.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Because I just go to so many stadiums that T-Texas Tony Turnstile.
Like they hear Tony Turnstile, like, oh shit.
But we are Northwest Vista Community College students, and we're dominating up there.
That's how we met.
We met in sound class.
Digital audio, correct?
Digital audio.
The actual name of it, right?
And behind us, I think maybe showing up on the camera, you can see we're running audition because we think we know how that works.
Well, nobody's podcast starts out as a ballin' podcast unless it's, unless you're like some already established podcast and you start another one, but
yeah, I don't really know, but I like that how unprepared we are and we're just going.
That's the beauty of it.
It's the beauty of episode 1. Like maybe, episode 600 people will come back and listen to this like, God, they're so polished. Look how effed up they were.
It's been 2.3 years and 37 days and 19 minutes, but man, they've gotten better.
We can only go up, I think,
that's right?
We can only get better.
We can't go down. We could go down if, but there's not a lot of room to go down into.
Other preamble, as they say. Didn't the Declaration of Independence have a preamble? I should probably know that.
I don't know that. I really don't.
I don't know, but preamble sounds like something that goes. Of course, amble is walk, right? So preamble sounds like something like just goes before we kick it. What else? We are learning our sound equipment. I'm terrible at that. We've acquired some things.
Is this your first time working with a soundboard?
A mixer board, very confusing. Lots of knobs and dials.
Because it should be as simple as hit record, select the channels, and hit record, but it doesn't work like that.
Which is also should be embarrassing for our sound teacher because he taught us all these things about gain, and I'm like, I don't know.
Well, for me, during COVID, I didn't get a chance to work with the soundboard in the building, so I don't know if that's in another class. But my first digital audio
I guess that one
class
was always remote, wasn't it?
Yes, so I didn't get a chance to work with the soundboard. But I know if you go to the school and you're like, hey, I want to learn, they'll give you like a little hour or something, like a trainer. Not a trainer, a tutor.
Yeah, it was difficult. Like, for example, like gain will turn me up. I know, like I just say gain because I've heard that and it's on the board. But then like this will turn you up. Master will turn you up, and then I can turn up your headphones. There's like 4 things where I can blow out your ears on this soundboard if I want to.
I understand what gain is, how to explain it. I can't fucking do it.
I mean, there's like 3 dials that kind of do the same thing, and here's another thing they didn't tell you in high school. Like you ever like a sound engineer. Like some dude who understands how this works.
Like at a show, the guy working the little
like he gets a job with Metallica for like $250,000 and travels the world. But they didn't tell you about that shit in high school. You're learning geometry.
They tell you how to work sound levels, and that's it.
I don't know.
They don't know how to. They don't teach you how to say no to drugs.
Yeah.
And Metallica's, hey man, want to drop some acid with Lars and get drunk? You're straight out. You're probably out of college. You're probably 21, 22.
Yeah.
And you're an adult, granted, but still, you're like, what the fuck? Do I say yes? Do I say no?
It's you gotta. You know what you're gonna have to do?
What's that?
Because this podcast is already so awesome, but people don't know. It's 3BGB is the name of it, but you're gonna have to do like some bumper music at the beginning with some sort of like intro, like 3BGB podcast. Like just cut that right there and throw that at the beginning. So 3BGB baseball punk music podcast, and then put that at the beginning, and then we can
come to you live from 97.9 FM, The Cat.
So
I'd like to name The Cat as our fake radio station.
I'm agreeing with you more than 100% if that's possible.
97.9 The Cat.
97.9 The Cat. And if there's like there might be a 97.9 radio station out there that then hears this and is like, F it, let's just hire them
we
right
want
now.
them personalities on our radio station.
Yeah, they've already got we just got ourselves a job with that one. I don't know. What was I talking about, Earl?
We were talking about, I don't honestly remember. Oh, working the soundboard for the first time in school, how they don't teach you like how to say no to heroin and acid.
That's true. So I could give a good 30 minutes bitch session on Zoom videos on YouTube.
Oh,
so
absolutely.
here's my take on you, company Zoom that makes these. Probably great stuff. You're dealing with somebody like IQ 8 with me. So you give the little pamphlet that comes with it. I'm looking at it right here. It's like 15 pages. Okay, that's not going to hack it. So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to go Google the PDF. Then you're going to get like the 100-page thing from like B&H Photo. You're going to try to read that. Then you're watching YouTube videos, but you got to watch like Zoom videos are about 1:15. He's like, this is good. You push mixer and then audio interface and you're all good to go. And you're like, bro, you just left out about 17 fucking steps.
But what they also don't tell you is these motherfuckers know how to work it. So they're just telling you what to press, but they don't say how to set it up, what each option means.
Yeah, but I'll throw them a bone on this. Honestly, if you did a video that was like the detail required for somebody as ignorant as me to figure it out, that video would be like 4 hours long, and then I'm too lazy to watch that video. So you can't win. You just got somebody like me who's going to complain about it.
Come on, Ernie, you just hit this button. Come on, buddy.
You just have to F with it, and that's what we've been doing. A lot of cussing, And
we'll figure it out
I
eventually.
like slouching this bouncy chair.
I just like sitting like this. I'm slouched over. I'm kind of leaning forward, but that's until we get our desk and we can chill how we want.
Yeah.
This is how I'm going to sit.
They'll see episode 1 had the Walmart fold-out plastic desk, and then when we get a big round circular table like we're pros.
Also, who knows how these videos are going to turn out? Like my camera's probably going to die at some point.
Yeah, I can see myself on like the Canon Handycam, and it's I think we should do the audio and then mix the cams back and forth, and then just like other random shots of us playing.
Yeah, next time I'll bring my charger so I can record the whole thing.
Yeah, this is good. So yeah, CBGB baseball. We're mainly going for baseball. We did a trial run where we were kind of spitballing what for me personally I would describe as faux knowledge. Like I just had to like research. I mean, I understand why the lockout's happening and they're arguing.
Yeah, it's pretty simple, I would say.
And then I did a little bit of research on kind of some details of the CBA, and after that, I was just looking for what punk music we want to talk about on that rabbit hole. And then I also just I missed Sabre Day. Rogers Hornsby chapter Sabre Day was on the 5th of February, and I missed that. Oh, we should do the date. Should we do the date? Like
today?
February 7th, 2022, so people know what day we actually recorded this. So also,
Today's
if
the
I have
8th.
some crazy prediction like Nostradamus, it's like, oh, I recorded that after that happened. No, dude, it's February 7th. And
It's the 8th, right? Actually,
Rangers are going to win the World Series.
It's
'cause we
actually
got
February
Jack Leiter's
8th.
son. What's that?
It's February 8th, actually.
Oh,
10:30 a.m. So here's speaking of Nostradamus and predictions.
Yes.
I'm calling it right now, buddy. Right now. You ready for
All
this? In the World Series next year. You ready for this?
Yep.
It's gonna be Chicago Cubs
Yes.
from the National League. In the American League, are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
The Tampa Bay Rays.
The Rays.
The
You're a Rays
rematch.
fan, though. You're the Rays
Yes, sir.
fan.
Yes, sir.
But they lost Blake Schnell, who's from Washington.
Yes.
I just realized.
He's a stud pitcher.
He does. He talks kind of gangster. You ever see him do an interview?
No, sir.
Anyway.
He's like, yo, I'm Blake Snell. What up, right? That kind of thing.
Yeah. I don't know. He's awesome, but I was like, I would have never guessed he was from Seattle. I don't know.
That's your hometown. You should know your your people.
I don't know. I thought he was like from the South or something. I thought he was like
Blake Snell.
I don't know. The way he talked, he sounded like, you ever see like a dude who gets the mullet with the lines cut in the side and then they grow out the little rat tail in the back?
The shades.
Yeah, he's kind of like the Trailer Park G.
Yeah.
You know, and you just think he's like, that's what was like the vibe. Because it was Tampa Bay, so I thought he was maybe from like around, like, you know, like Florida has like the beaches, but then there's like the kind of like the redneck parts of Florida.
Like Homestead, like this, it's like a suburb outside Miami, but it's like trashy.
I thought he was maybe like from the redneck part of Florida. Come out, he's from like Seattle. I was like, okay.
They call him Blake Schnell.
Blake Schnell will listen to this and be like, fuck you.
I'll beat your ass.
But yeah, all right, that's a good prediction. I don't know if I have any predictions, but here's the one prediction I will make on the Texas Rangers.
Go for it.
Okay. So we've sucked balls since we had that awesome run with like Kinsler and Hamilton and
Cruz.
Cruz. Like we went to the World Series there a couple times. That was pain. That was max pain losing the Cardinals. But after that, I wouldn't even call it an apparent rebuild. It was just like, let's just suck, I guess.
Tore everything up.
But then you got, because we suck so bad, we get high draft picks, and we got Jack Leiter, Al Leiter's son. So major league pedigree and is coursing through his veins through that blood. Okay. And if you saw him at Vanderbilt in college, filth, absolute filth.
Nasty.
I mean, upper 90s guy. Like, he's like a stone statue when he comes to set. He's just staring you down, just dealing. And I got the vibes off of him a little bit like Strasburg when he was at San Diego State. He was kind of like
that dude was a beast.
Well, it was like before he was in the pros, it was like, okay, there's this dude in college. He's insane. Why are you going to waste minor league time with him? Because he's already just got nasty velocity. So that's my vibe on Leiter. I don't know if he's going to do any minor league time, especially with a lockout. Like, you're going to go to spring training. He's going to deal. Your pitching staff, there's no way you got 5 starters that are that good. I don't know why he does, unless you're like worried about like wear on the arm. You don't want to like shock him. You want to have him see some AAA hitters or whatever, get his feet wet. But at some point, that dude will be a call up. Second half of the season, whatever. Of course, that's one thing they're arguing about is manipulating service time. But whatever, he's going to be in the show within a year. And just like Strasburg, it's like those first 2 or 3 years before the league kind of figures him out or whatever, or the arm loses like 3 or 4 miles an hour. Same thing with Lincecum. There's like that, like the right at the beginning, 3 or 4 years where you got to cash in on what that arm has to offer.
Or like Bryce Harper, he went straight to the majors.
Yeah, but some of these, maybe he's a 20-year dude like Nolan Ryan. He just throws that hard his whole career, and he's awesome. But some of these guys are kind of good at the beginning. And if you're the Rangers, this is it, dude. You got a full push. You got to buy some free agents. You got to surround that guy with a team, and we got to go to the postseason in the next 2 or 3 years, or we're going to eventually he'll be a free agent, and then he's gone.
I forgot the dude's name. They gave up when they traded what's-his-face last year to the Yankees. I can't remember his name.
Oh, Gallo.
Yeah, at that point they were giving up. They're trading their star player.
I don't even know what that's how uneducated of a baseball podcast this is. I don't know what we got for Gallo. It kind of felt like when we gave up Teixeira to the Yankees. Same thing.
Mark Teixeira. Yeah,
he could rake. But it was like it was almost like they didn't want to do the contract, and I can't remember the pieces we got back for Gallo. I'm not a true fan. We're just awesome podcasters, is what we do.
Well, see, I think that's the good thing about this. We're not trying to come off as like experts or all professionalism. So, did you see the other day? Who cares?
We're just can't be an expert in everything.
We're just gonna bullshit like we would if we were just chilling somewhere.
I can talk about UFOs.
I like UFOs.
I can talk about what's the remote viewing, ESP.
Tell me about that.
Okay.
That's when I was like, "Is that where you go watch the UFOs in the sky?" And you're like, "No." I was like, "Oh."
So here's the short. Well, now you get me going, Earl.
Hey, that's fine.
Go down the rabbit hole. But this is what baseball players listen to.
But also, UFOs are real and aliens are real.
That's good. My phone's going off in an interview. I should have talked to him. We could have piped him into the fucking Zoom, and you could have heard a telemarketer call on the podcast.
Your business is my business.
Let's see here. ESP. Okay, so we'll go back to the beginning. Okay, there's a movie, Men Who Stare at Goats, with George Clooney. Okay, and the Army did have like this corps where they're like trying to train dudes to read minds, and apparently like the Russians are light years ahead of us. Like, not only do they like train for this, they're like, it's not even a question. You can absolutely like see through walls and read minds and all this stuff, and we just like have dudes that do it. Like they'll had there's so many rabbit holes on this. For example, the Russians had, and I forget the name of the chess player, but he like defected from Russia and he was really good. And so this guy was like playing in some championship match, and the communist Russia at that time didn't want this defecting chess player to make him like look bad. So it's like, he has to lose at all costs. We have to mess up his game. So this dude played like some match. I think it was in the Philippines, and they sent one of these like Russian like mind dudes to the match to like just sit there and like stare at him and like think.
Fuck with him, right?
Yeah, like mental telepathy, F thoughts. And then that chess player was like, knew what he was doing. He's like, that dude is messing with me. I can't concentrate right now. I need that guy out of the room. I might have made that all up, but I think that's the way I remember it. But anyway.
I don't think you made it up, because that sounds like something some Russians
like.
Would
how would I?
Pull.
Why would that be in my head? It's something like that.
Because Russians are when they want to get shit done, they'll fuck with you.
They did something like that.
Of course. Because like as you know, when you know too much, either you disappear or people fuck with you and drive you insane.
Yeah.
Like, have you seen that video? I don't know. I can't remember all the little fine details, but there was that guy who's being watched. I forgot what
This is a movie?
No, it was a little documentary. I forgot what he knew, but they would constantly patrol around his house, like aspiring with cameras, and this guy was constantly being followed and watched. It drove him insane.
Yeah.
I think he knew some shit about insider trading. They're like, this guy's gonna fucking put us out of business, eliminate him.
There's always something like that, but
especially with government shit, dude. Once you know stuff about aliens and all that, like you're talking about.
Yeah, now the cat's out of the bag on that.
You're dead.
U.S. government's like, yeah, that we don't know what they are.
Shut them down. you can't shut down 979 the cat. Won't allow it.
No, 97.9 the cat, best radio station ever. Okay, give me 5 more minutes on the ESP.
No,
and
dude,
then you bounce. I'll bounce the racquetball over there, and you tell me how crazy this is. What I think I heard. Okay, so like America was maybe behind the 8 ball. Like the Russians were all about it. So the Army's like, we got to figure this out. They made like a unit of dudes that would practice. They'd like write something on an envelope, put it in the envelope, hide it over here, and they're like, okay, Earl, what do you think's in there? And you'll be like, oh, I think you wrote down apple. And then if it was apple, they'd be like, okay, this dude's a comer. We're gonna put him in the varsity team. So they're trying to like weed dudes out that they thought had special skills, and that's kind of what that movie is out. Now, fast forward, since that like really was like a thing that happened, the other aspect of like remote viewing and mind reach, and I'm not sure if the dudes at Stanford, there were these 2 professors who were like kind of aware of this and like, okay, well, we need some like scientific method to this. We need like some controls because nobody's going to take it seriously. Everybody in America is just going to think it's like false science or whatever. So we need to like have verifiers and all this other stuff that just can't be messed with. And so they found some people that they thought were talented with it, but they go, I think like the more studies they did, there's like, it's almost like you get like some housewife or something or anybody off the streets and kind of like ask them to do it. And like everybody has this innate ability to kind of connect with other people's brain waves and communicate, I guess. So one of the things that they did a lot of was called remote viewing. Okay, and remote viewing was like they would get a guy, they'd put him in the room, and they just have some other guy, like the dude in the room wouldn't even know where he's going. They're like, all right, Earl, go walk around. Like go 20 minutes, go drive around, and then park somewhere and like walk around, and then like videotape or whatever, write down where you're at. So the guy would go do that. And then the guy in the room, they'd be like, wait 20 minutes. Okay, tell me where Earl is right now. And he'd be like, I see really tall trees. I see a pond or whatever. He'd like kind of describe it, draw pictures. And they come back and see how accurate that dude's kind of remote viewing was of the situation. And they were like, dude, some of these people were like nailing it. They're nailing it.
This was an actual study?
This is an actual study. So I read this. I was like freaked out. You can order these books on Amazon. There's like 4 books I ordered. One of them's called like Remote Viewing. But then there was like 2 dudes. One guy's name is like, I think Joe McGongle, whatever. He was the guy actually from the Men Who Stare at Goats movie. He was one of the remote viewer dudes. And then there's this guy called Ingo Swann, who was like doing some things, like they were doing some studies in New York. And then he came out to Stanford where these dudes were doing the science. And all the dudes in Stanford was like, yeah, everybody has this ability, but this guy was like, he just knew how to get in touch with that wavelength, and he could do all kinds of stuff. And then the other thing they would do was they were trying to like prove it to like the U.S. government military, like we could do this. This has application in intelligence gathering. Like we can see Russian installations. You don't even know we're there. And so I think like the U.S. government was like, okay, you say you can do it. What's at this location? And it was this crazy super secret location. And not only is it crazy super secret, it's subterranean. It's like 3 stories below the dirt. It's like this subterranean bunker, and there's computers in there, and there's like all this stuff. And some dude went in there. He's like, I can tell what's here. It's this grassy hill. But then you go down an elevator, and it opens, and there's an office in there, and there's a room, and there's computers, and there's the stuff, and there's this paper on there, and this is what the paper says. Or whatever it was. This dude was like crazy accurate, and they sent it back to like the U.S. government, and then their heads exploded. They're like, okay, nobody's supposed to know this site is there. I don't know how you knew that. You're doing something wrong. You're spies. And then like they got all like they wouldn't believe it. So they kind of like did all these like little like proofs and tests for the government, and never really, I'm not sure how much it got latched onto by the government, but there's volumes of paper on their studies on what they did at Stanford, walking around parks, remote viewing, things where dudes would like remote view locations in Russia. Jimmy Carter even, they like had this plane that crashed and they couldn't find it.
The plane itself?
Yeah, plane crashed like in Africa or somewhere. They couldn't find it. They really need to find it. I don't know if like sensitive information. And so they somehow got in touch with these remote viewer peoples, and that person was just like, okay, it's here in the what maybe it's like the Amazonian rainforest is like it's here at this location. And they found it, and Jimmy Carter's like, I don't know how they did that. Of course, Jimmy Carter, like sometimes he gets a bad rap for like crazy presidential stories. But point being, I'll shut up and give it back to you. But that's like the whole remote viewing thing, and that's the exact kind of thing you really need to be talking about in a baseball podcast because we have no rules at the 97.9
Well,
The
we
Cat.
even stated that we would. It's based around baseball, but that doesn't mean we're not going to bounce around and talk about other shit.
Absolutely.
But
Here's the reasoning for that, and I'll shut up again. I'm such a windbagger.
well, I got. Speaking
Yeah,
of
go ahead.
things like that with the mind and other odd things out there, I was thinking about this the other day. I was thinking about time travel. Do you think time travel is possible, or we've already been doing it for like ever?
That's a pretty good question.
Because I think we've done time travel. Like I don't know. I just feel like there's too much like stories and not exactly evidence, but too many people out there. There's no way that there's that many crazy people. Like people have time traveled.
I think that could be quite possible. The thing that throws me off with the whole thing is the Back to the Future movies. And it doesn't throw me off in the sense that before I really understood anything, it gave me a framework for how it should work, right? So like,
see, I don't know how we do it, but I feel like it's been done.
well, like I kind of agree. Like it would make sense, right? So what did Biff do? Biff went to the future, got himself the sports magazine with all the scores in
Sports
it,
Almanac,
went
yeah.
back, and then he balled out, was the richest dude ever with a casino. So you telling me Bill Gates was really good at computers, or did he just come back with all like a little head start on everybody? Are some of these crazy rich guys
I've
just
always
ahead of the
wondered
game?
that too, like how we have as humans have been able to advance so quickly, so fast all the time.
That's true.
You
The
know
last
what I
100
mean?
years have been crazy.
Like usually things take time to develop and trial and error, but all of a sudden, bam, bam, bam. Every year there's new stuff that comes out. It's just like
It's
super.
one of my conspiracy theories has to do with the UFO crash in Roswell.
Don't get me started on conspiracy theories because I'll fucking talk all day, dude.
All right, but we'll bring it back to baseball. Okay, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay
I went
because
there.
like I said, this is baseball, mainly baseball and punk, but there will be days where we'll talk about other stuff.
This is where baseball. So I get Baseball America, great publication. I love Saber, but Saber does cool stuff like I think there's somebody that does like baseball and music. Then they do a bunch of baseball bios. Like you can find a baseball card if you play like 2 years in the 60s. Somebody on Saber has written a bio about the guy. And it's awesome. It's like he did all this, and he like saved a life as a fireman, and now he just like runs an office. Like it's crazy. It's like how in depth it is.
Saber's like an encyclopedia.
It is an
everything
encyclopedia.
baseball. You could look up anything. You would find an article or something about it. Like 1971 Cincinnati Reds. Bam, you'll find it. Or you can look up anything.
Yeah.
Like and who wore black cleats in the 80s.
Yeah. They like you name it. Like it's so crazy. But sorry, I cut you off, buddy.
It's almost like what's that website? I forgot the name of it where you can go and find a video or picture of anything that you type in.
Google?
No, it's like stock images and stuff.
Oh yeah.
It's like that with Sabres of baseball though. Anything anything you type
baseball
in,
reference,
you'll find it.
Google. But point being about the podcast is, Baseball America. If you're a ball player, you got a 15-hour road trip to Greenville, Mississippi, or whatever. I mean, how long are you really reading, flipping stats in this prospect and that prospect? It's cool. Like, I get it. Baseball America's Great Republic it does that. But baseball player, like, especially a starting pitcher, you pitch once every 5 days.
Yeah.
Like, these dudes were golfers. Like, these dudes, you're thinking about so much different stuff on the bus that I think for baseball content and my understanding of the average baseball fan is there are many other weird interests that we have along with our love of baseball. So yeah, we need to go to Venezuela and cover the winter leagues and talk about that. But everything else,
baseball conspiracies, we'll have to talk about that.
Plenty of baseball conspiracies
because there's something going on with that whole Steve Bartman thing. I don't think that fan was just randomly there.
Bartman. I don't know if Bartman. I've seen one documentary about him. That poor guy.
Yeah.
But conspiracies could be why did the Mariners not want to win a World Series?
especially when they had all those good teams in the 90s. Like, how do you win 100-something games and then you just crash?
How do you not? They had the higher draft pick. How do you not draft Tim Lincecum?
But there's something there, right? Like, there's no way. Like, how do you? People say, "Oh, it's just bad luck," but I don't know. If you're playing a whole season awesome as fuck, how do you forget how to play when it comes to the postseason after winning 100-something games? I don't know, dude.
I don't know. But see, my theory on that one is pitching, like pitching is the difference maker. It seems to me in the postseason, like how strong your middle relief and starters are. Because like you go regular season, you're just jacking dingers on kind of like the middle bottom of the league. You're putting all these gaudy numbers up, but then you got to play a it's like a 3-game set if it's a play-in, but it's like 5-game or a 7-game set with the top of the top where all those pitchers are filthy. It's I mean, you got to play. Your batting average is going to go down. You got to face Scherzer 3 times, in a 7-game series. Like it's like pitching. I think some of these. That's why the Mariners, like, dude, they're just jacking homers. That's all good, but postseason, you better be able to like win the 1-run ball game, and get the runner over from second or whatever, because you're just not going to be, having the 9-2 win with. You might, but I mean, with like a couple 3-run homers against a Max Scherzer.
Well, in the postseason, your pitching is like your defense in football.
Yeah. I think
I'm not sure the Astros are going to cheat, whatever, though.
Calculation changes
Different
in the postseason.
story.
See, that was real baseball talk. That was serious baseball talk, Earl.
Yeah.
I love your Brooklyn hat, by the way.
Thank you.
Jackie
I
Robinson.
do not like the LA Dodgers, but Brooklyn Dodgers are a different story. Also, I got the number 42 Jackie Robinson on the side.
Yeah, there's a pretty cool. I'm a kind of a Twitter follow dude. There's a guy called, I want to say he's like Brooklyn Dad or whatever he is, but he like sent some pictures. Like you can go in Brooklyn and still find like on the sidewalk, like there's a placard where home plate was for Ebbets Field. And I was like, that's kind of awesome. I'd love to go to that.
I kind of wish they would have never left Brooklyn. I mean, I wasn't around then, but like just this history and stuff, I think it'd been cool to stay in Brooklyn.
That would have been sweet. They had 3 teams, which makes sense, but I guess Major League Baseball, as we can see now with the lockout, being a business above all, they're like westward expansion. We must. And you probably get people out in LA throwing money at you. We'll build you a stadium. We'll give you this and that. You're gonna up and move.
You could tell your hometown team all you want. Oh, I love this city. I'll never move. But someone throws quite a bit of money your way, you're gone.
I have to ask Vin Scully. I think it was Scully. I can't remember. But one thing I did hear about Ebbets Field.
The Brooklyn Dodgers old field?
Yeah, the old field for the Brooklyn Dodgers was like the bathroom urinal situation was unbelievably awful.
Was that like the trough where you just rolled up and just pissed like in a tub?
I guess it was.
I hate those things.
This is like all the rest of my knowledge. Like I'm just regurgitating stuff that I thought I heard, and it could totally be wrong. But I think it was like that whole stadium. There was like one men's bathroom or something for everybody to use.
I could see it.
It was like they didn't plan for that kind of attendance or something when they built the plumbing. I've heard that.
Or
I
maybe
could be wrong, but
they
I think
weren't
I heard
thinking
that.
of people going to the bathroom a whole lot of games either.
Yeah.
But you start drinking beer and knocking back some cold ones, you're going to be pissing like every 20 minutes.
Yeah. We need people to, because somebody might actually listen to this. There's going to be one listener.
I've actually been telling people that I know at work who love baseball or like it at least, who to come on and talk with us.
How are they going to get in touch with us? We're going to give should we give out like a Twitter handle? Like DM us if you want to play wiffle ball?
Yes. Or what I was going to do was I was going to go home and start a YouTube channel for this. Just call it 3BGB, the YouTube channel. And I was going to upload our first little raw test episode. So people that'll be, but we can start other YouTubes and why we need more, but like YouTube and other social media platforms. People do want to get a hold of us.
I have like 4 Twitter profiles, but one of them I put the CBGB logo on.
Yeah, you can.
Oh, it is. It is. It's T. What is it? What's this profile?
Because you can always change. You can add accounts, so you can have like multiple accounts on one email. Like with Instagram, I have 2. I have like my personal, and I have like my photography one that I never upload to. But
this is how I'm going to tell people to get in touch with us, Earl.
Okay.
If you want to talk to Earl, the legend Pearl, aka Dutch Chattahoochee, you can get at us. So this is how it's D or T dot. I guess it doesn't even matter on Twitter, the first part.
You know
but
what,
it's
though?
T dot Texas Tony. What the fuck? It's
Here's
all
what
reversed.
we'll do, man.
Anyway, it's at BMB_baseball.
I want to start
T Texas Tony Turnstile at BMB_baseball on Twitter. That's one of my Twitters. It's got the 3BGB logo on it.
Okay.
To our one listener, if you actually got this far and you fucking listened and have Twitter, reach out because you're going to be our next goddamn guest.
Because once they hear that, once we upload that first like test episode, they're gonna be like, "Fucking, these guys are gods!" Like
this
they're on to something.
It's our one listener might be the executive that's going to give us tons of
or
money.
Google even. They're like, "We should sponsor these dudes," but we don't have an official sponsor. The only sponsor we have right now is gasoline.
Yeah, our sponsor.
Most cars can't go without it. We need it.
Gasoline, coffee. 7-Eleven wants to get at us and give us free coffee.
I had
and
heard
donuts.
that the what's that company you might have heard? Walmart might want to sponsor us.
I think Walmart does.
They said they want to put out our own line of T-shirts, and
I mean, I think the sponsorship money that's going to get thrown at us is going to lead to a lot of Lamborghinis and Ferraris.
Dude, at least 5
Private
houses.
jets.
At least 5 houses.
You know, some people get rich and they don't want to spend it. They're always like, "That's foolish. Why do you want to?" Ball out like that. Rich people are like Warren Buffett, they drive station wagons and stuff. And I go, well, here at 3BGB, that's not how we're going to roll. Okay. There will be Lambos.
Like, I feel like I need a pair of shoes for each day of the week.
Yeah. Actually, I'm talking out of my ass. You know what the next vehicle I really want is?
What's that?
A Kia Sedona. But they've changed it. Now it's the Kia Carnival. I already have one. It's a 2016. I fucking love it. It's got a V6. Just get up and go. Little Rugrats jump up in that sucker. They love it, but they have like a limousine edition of the Kia Carnival.
So I want to look this up right quick because I want a Dodge Power Wagon, one of those old ass trucks.
Oh,
now I'm looking at.
Does that have wood paneling? Can you get one with wood paneling on the side?
I think you can, but I do not want one. So I'm not sure what year I want. 1950. There we go.
Ooh.
I just pulled up some pictures.
I feel like that's one of those Beach Boys like surf wagons where they tied the surfboards to the top.
This thing is a beast. This is a truck from the 50s. It's called the Dodge Power Wagon.
Power Wagon.
Here, I want to show you this to you.
Okay, let's see that.
And dude, it's so sick. Like, could you imagine me rolling up to this place? It's loading a little slow right now because of Wi-Fi. Here, let me go back.
In this place being
okay, I'm going to show you this. I want your initial assessment on it.
All right.
Open your eyes. Isn't that badass?
Oh, snap.
1950 Dodge Power Wagon.
This one with the wood panel on the door, that's what I'm thinking of.
Okay.
That, like the Beach Boys used to drive the beach, but these other kind of like truck things, those have huge wheels.
Now,
those
granted, it can't probably go super fast, but the power that thing has, go ahead and cut me off on I-10 coming here. I will ram your ass off the road and destroy you.
Oh, man. That does look sweet. That's an excellent choice of
so,
vehicles.
When I roll up with that, they're like, okay, 3BGB, they've made it. You know what I'm saying? They've got their sponsorships.
Yeah. I don't know if we're going to make it or not, but we're having a good time doing it.
And
see a lot of baseball
Teddy's
games.
going to be like, yo, my dad is fucking filthy rich.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Teddy ball game. Teddy was hilarious. He got me up. I guess he only got me up at 6 o'clock this morning today. Usually, last 3 nights it's been 3 in the morning. And then I got to sleep on the couch with him because he won't go back to bed.
I do like how you were talking to him about the BAP batting average balls in play. Like he understood. He like
Bob Dip.
He's like, okay, Teddy. He's like, yes, Dad.
Oh my goodness.
He's not even a year old yet, right? He's like 8 months or something.
Yeah, he's 8 months now.
8 months.
But I don't know what. I guess we can go lockout as far as we know. We don't even have to be right. We'll just do what we know on the lockout.
So for what's that phrase? Layman terms, like
That's
basic.
right. This is
the basic settings. So the owners don't want to play the players. They don't want to raise their minimum salary because players, they want their ass covered. Like, hey, just pay us a little bit more, so just in case things don't pan out, we're golden. And they want shorter contracts, I think, too, right? Is that part of it?
Yeah. I mean, there's two, like you said, there's kind of like 2 levels to it. I did all the research when we did our trial podcast or whatever. And so that was like level 1. I'm going to act like I know, but I don't know shit. And then the other one is like where we're just like hanging outside, smoking and joking. And you get that one guy who's just like talking a bunch of smack like he knows. And then like in the back of your head, like, this dude doesn't know shit. I'm going to do it like that.
Yeah.
So like you said, fight over money, and it all boils down, like, because there's the competitive balancing tax, which is whatever they're like step up kind of luxury tax as you keep going over and over this
the
limit.
shared income.
Yeah, and then there's like free agency years, which I guess they stopped fighting about. There is revenue sharing, where if you're a smaller market team, you get money from the bigger market teams, yada yada. Then there's like don't mess with service time. But when you all boil it down, it's quite simple, right? It's about the players are like, these rules, this competitive balance tax, revenue sharing, these things, they de-incentivize paying us more, right? And the manager or the owners, they like them because they're like, these are like limits and kind of regulators on us paying you more. So we don't have to, like, if we have this stuff. So it's all about kind of moving the line on, don't put in a bunch of rules in the CBA that keep owners from opening the checkbook to pay us more, to pay us sooner, to have teams that are essentially rewarded for losing. Because if then you got small payroll, we're all getting paid less. You don't want to give us longer contracts. You're getting free draft picks. You're getting so, I mean, I could go on and on like I know, but I don't really know.
The basics.
Yeah, but it is about money, and it totally makes sense. Because, like, I can't get mad at the owners or the players. I'm a baseball fan. It sucks. But it doesn't, like, if anybody, you or I or anybody, our one listener, was like...
Tony over there in Texarkana.
You got a fucking pizza, a circular pizza, and somebody goes, okay, well, that's cool. Here's a slice for you, and I'll just have the rest. You'd be like, what the fuck, bro?
I thought we would eat, because if you go, especially if you go half and half on the price.
Yeah,
why do I want to get one fucking slice?
It's no matter what it is, there's a pie of money, and it's getting divvied up, and everybody's going to fight about it. And because these CBAs expire, we've expired, and now we're dealing with a fight over money. And people want to get like, oh, you're so fucking rich anyway. I was like, I kind of get that, but that's like, what's that got to do with the price of tea in China? It's like it's all about money. It doesn't matter if you were getting screwed on an oil change. If you're shopping. I was like, I shop at this grocery store because it's cheaper, it's better. Anybody would have these arguments. Has to do with the future for the players. So they'll sort it out. I don't think Major League Baseball is going to die. How many games do we lose is kind of the question. I will be watching Korean baseball again if we get fucked out of Major League Baseball. I'm rooting for both of them. I mean, owners are already rich. Doesn't turn me off. They're like, oh, they're going to get richer. I was like, oh, fucking whatever. Or they're like, the players like, oh, you're already so rich. Why don't you just take whatever? I was like, I don't know. I'm not them.
Well, I get it for like established players, but if you're a new draftee or a young player, you don't know what your future holds. What if you get hurt and then you're fucked?
Yeah.
Because like, what if you're in your second, third year and you still don't know? Like, what happens if you get hurt and you have to retire early?
Yeah.
Are you supposed to like provide yourself for the rest of your life with like that $500,000, whatever it is?
Yeah.
Minimum salary, like.
There's so much, and I haven't read the full thing, but there's all kinds of interesting stuff, and they're like contributions, like revenue contributions to like retirement funds and like, things like that for guys who have like service time. And I guess these dudes still get meal money every day. There's like every little detail.
In the minors?
Yeah, well, I think the major leaguers, like a major leaguer still gets.
Oh, they do. I forgot where I heard that
it's
at.
like
but they
meal
have
money.
Yeah. I forgot where I heard that at.
I hope it's huge. Like, if I'm in the major leagues, I should be eating like steak every night.
Nah, dude, $50 a day. Good luck.
I forget what it was in college. NCAA had rules too. It was like you get like it was like $20. It might have been $40 a day because they knew you couldn't really eat on like 23 or whatever it was. But because you're a college baseball player, you get paid to play. But somebody gives you a little envelope like here's your per diem. Oh, you're like, sweet. Let's go to Wendy's, bro.
You know what? Go ahead and get your 2 large fries instead of 1.
Dude. That was, per diem was actually kind of a sweet little perk, but I can't even imagine what it was like being a major leaguer. You can stay in nice hotels, per diem.
I wouldn't know. I would say I would be good at balancing my money, but dude, if I have like 6 figures in my bank account, woo,
it'd be hard.
Because like I would buy all the shit I've always wanted. Like,
yeah. It's easy to sit on the sidelines and say what we would do, but if I was there, I might be the guy that blows all my money.
I would buy a lot of shit I don't need. Like, I need 6 cameras, 4 microphones, a fucking house just for a studio setup. Like, yeah.
Yeah, it's like the more shit we get, then we realize like I can't use it all, or I don't need it all. We kind of need the sound stuff. Of course, we don't really know what we're doing.
I don't even know if this camera's going to record this whole thing. I don't know if it's still recording. The iris is open, so it's on.
The iris is open is always a good start for me, too. I like that I have the little
You like that little thermometer in there?
Yeah, I can actually see. I think the red dot's on a recording.
Yes. It's on.
Yeah.
That's all I know.
That's all we know. Hopefully there's a card in it. So yeah, lockout. I don't know. And where we are on February 8th is, I think. Oh no, this is what's happened.
The Cubs aren't winning the World Series
the owners
next year.
offered, players laughed at them, players countered, and the owners like hated the counter so bad, they're like, just send us to like mediation or whatever. Like there's a clause and. Or maybe they're just going straight to like arbitration where an arbitrator's going to decide it for them because they're like, we're never going to get along. And maybe that's what they need to do. Because like, I don't know. And I guess for the people that are baseball fans like us, I guess you don't really need to know. Like, I think that would be pretty boring.
Know
like,
what, the money and all that?
Well, no, just like follow the process. Because like real reporters and real podcasters are like following it to a T. This is what they said. This is what they said. This is the offer. This was the change in the offer. Now they're doing this and that. And it was like, bro, it's just going to have to get figured out. And it will get figured out. This has happened before. There's been work stoppages. They're always ugly. It's not a good look for the sport. Especially when you got guys like me who are going to move to Korea and just become a Kia Tigers fan.
Might as well. What's that one team, that legendary team, the Giants over there?
The Yomiuri Giants.
Yeah.
Legends. I've decided I like the Dragons in the Nippon Baseball League because the Dragons look kind of like Dodger uniforms.
So you're basing your fandom off the uniforms and stuff?
Well, no, because of my absolute hatred of the Universal DH rule, which I also have heard that they're cooling off on that.
They should.
Like at first I thought it's like don't worry, dude. You can't fight it. Stop bitching about it. It's going to happen. And then I thought I heard somebody said it was off the table when I was like, yes, God, I hope they don't do it. And then I found out, I was like, what leagues still let pitchers hit?
Because that was in the bargaining agreement too, right?
Yeah.
That's what's part of it. This lock stoppage is a whole universal DH thing.
Something.
It's like, so stupid.
They did it for the one COVID season. And then I guess they didn't do it last year, the first COVID season. It all blends together for COVID. But anyway, the Nippon, the Japanese professional baseball leagues do the one of the leagues still does it like we do with the AL and the NL. They got DH in one of the leagues, and then the other league, my understanding is they have the pitchers hit. Excuse me.
We'll cut that out.
We'll just edit that out. Don Newcomb pitched for the Brooklyn Dodgers and, of course, National League. If you look at his numbers, and I can't remember, it was like 56 or 57 in the 50s or something, his OPS was like over 1,000. The dude absolutely raked. Like, if Don Newcomb played 162 game season as a batter, he might have won the Triple Crown. The dude raked. And I was like, that's what you want, man. And I think it was Connie Mack that said, if you got a team whose pitchers can hit, you should enjoy the fruits
of your labor,
and you should enjoy that advantage. You should enjoy that advantage that your dudes don't go up there and just flail or stand around.
That's rare nowadays.
And so Don Newcomb went and played in Japan later, and he played for that team in that league where they let pitchers hit in that particular Japanese league. And I was like, man, I would have loved. I still can't find it, but like I would assume he would have hit, and he probably raked there too.
Yeah, that's probably why he went over there, because he loves to hit. And over here,
I mean, he was a good pitcher, but man, a good hitting pitcher, and that's my argument. Even a bad hitting pitcher, it changes the managerial math strategy game. Like, that's the whole point. Like, you have, like, I know middle infielders, a lot of them can't hit, but for pitchers, like, you have this one dude who absolutely is an out. How are you gonna, or when are you gonna change pitchers? Are you gonna pinch hit? How are you gonna do it for that? Get those runners over when 2 runners are on in front of your pitcher. I think we're losing something if we just take that out and just put in a guy who jacks homers. It simplifies it, and yeah, it's great. But my argument, I beat the dead horse. We have the best of both worlds. If you like that game, you got it. The American League, got it. For all the people who love DHs, you got it. For people like me that are like, let's see a little bit of failure.
Because what I think is cool too about the pitching hitting is sometimes they'll bunt. They'll lay down a bunt.
Yeah.
They know they can't hit a fly ball or connect with the ball too well, so lay down a bunt. So like if you have runners on base and you have like one out, you're like, well, there's a guy on second and third. He's probably gonna bunt to try to bring one home or move the guy over from second, right?
Yeah, first and second.
Like a sacrifice bunt.
Less than first and second, less than 2 outs with a pitcher, just bunt.
Like a sacrifice bunt, right? Move the guy over.
Yeah.
Possibly bring the guy in from third. And that's a strategy too, but if you take that away, you know what I'm saying? You lose that part of the game.
Yeah, small ball shouldn't be taken.
I love small ball.
And this kind of goes in line with the game, or like, because to me this is like a heroin addict. You know, this is like nobody's ever was like, I'm just gonna dabble with heroin. I'm just gonna play with it a little bit.
No one dabbles.
That'll end well. Let me just play with this. It's like, dude, you're gonna go down a path of seeking out home runs and perfection, and this is where you start talking about robot umpires. I'm like, don't do it. Don't do it. If you start trying to remove failure, human error, achieve perfection on a baseball field, to me, as a baseball fan, that's not what it's about. It's about failure. It's about imperfection. It's about getting, whatever. These Angel Hernandez, not a popular umpire. Joe West just retired. I mean, dudes are getting fucked on ball strike calls, and believe me, when I'm rooting for my team and I watch a dude get rung up on something that's like 2 inches off the outside plate, outside corner, yeah, I'm pissed. That's bullshit. But that's happened every year since the beginning of time of baseball, and you can't go back and change the bad calls and bad strike calls. It's literally is, and NFL's different, whatever. Like, if you get fucked on a PI on the game-winning touchdown or whatever, but you can't even go back in the 60s NFL and fix all that. It's a part of the thing, and to tell me that it's either going to be a guy standing back there that's just a mannequin with it getting piped into his ear, and he just calls, that's the dumbest thing ever. Actually, I would want that job just because it'd be good seats for the game. I could just stand there and go, strike, ball, strike, ball.
But that's going to change the player's approach too, I think.
Yeah.
It's going to be like driving next to a cop. You're going to constantly be looking at your speedometer. I can't even say the word. But you know what I'm saying? It's going to make you nervous because you're like, okay, if this robot pitcher umpire guy can see my exact location, I want to be real careful how I pitch now. It's going to fuck with me, right?
Yeah, for the pitchers, right, who are getting that extra, like, because Tom Glavine, when he pitched, he was always working on the outside of the plate, out. And every once in a while he busts you in, but he could kind of stretch it a little bit more, and he'd just start getting more of that corner. And I think, like, that's going
to go away.
It's all going to go away with robots. And everybody's like, well, it's modern times, you got to change. I'm not with it. I'm just like, keep umpires in there. Keep them less than perfect. They should be trying to achieve. There's a really good Twitter follow is umpire scorecards, and there's some dudes who's like, I don't know their name. They're not Joe West because they've been in the league for 40 years. You can see the scorecard on some of these umpires are calling darn near perfect games, which is a cool achievement. Just like a pitcher throwing a no-hitter. It's like that dude's eye. He's basically is a robot. Like, he only missed like one pitch, and it was like inconsequential. Like, that's awesome. Good for that guy. So, trying to robo-ump stuff, and there's probably some instant replay that makes sense on, like, tags or the steal at second. But please don't do that with balls and strikes.
But also with batters, because some umpires will give certain batters, like, a little cushion.
Yeah.
Like to, like, somebody else, it may be a strike, but to them, like, oh, we'll give them a little cushion, it'll be a ball.
Yeah. And I don't know how
and that'll definitely go away for sure.
I I don't know how you would ever do check swings, because dudes always complain about that when they get rung up on a check swing. And if you ever watch video of a check swing, even that is like
that's
not
hard
definitive.
to call.
Like you watch, it's like
hard.
I don't know, did he, didn't he? So it's like, how's a robot gonna figure that out? So
it all depends on the crew, really. I think that day.
Yeah.
What they want to call.
Get some guys.
Because I've seen some dudes that do like a check swing where they barely move and they're like strike, but then other guys will almost go around and like ball.
Yeah, it's scary to watch. And I know that like everything in life changes. Nothing stays the same. But for baseball, it's particularly scary when you start making too drastic of changes.
I want to get this coffee.
Yeah, get that coffee.
Not
right
sponsored
there,
by 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
Sponsored by Ernie Granville himself.
I would say I don't even know what's in these coffees. Like if you go to the Nacogdoches 7-Eleven at 9 o'clock in the morning,
that's all
the coffee, yeah, because the coffee canisters, there's 6 of them of various flavors. They got that little coffee
echo
meter in there that like goes down. You can see how much coffee is left in it, and I could see that like all of them were just about empty. So you kind of have to do like the suicide where you just like run the cup back and forth. You get like Colombian, Brazilian, pecan, hazelnuts. Like one of them is like, yeah. So I don't really know what that is.
It's not bad.
It's coffee of some sort.
It's coffee. I'm not a huge fan, but you know what? It's not terrible either.
Something. I gotta wet the whistle. I don't know. I'm gonna have to get a water.
So
we don't even have to edit this out. Just leave dry. You just talk to me from the other room so other people can hear the echo here on the 4th floor of the Nakatomi Towers, 3BGB.
Nakatomi Towers?
I'm calling it the Nakatomi. What is it? Nakatomi Towers?
Yeah.
What was the one from Die Hard?
I've never seen the movie.
I think it's the Nakatomi Towers.
But I'll say this though too. Our view is wonderful because I'm looking at an ocean right now. Just straight ocean, dude, from this building.
Oh my gosh!
And I see a boat. Right? I just saw a boat catch fire as well. Like this view is amazing. Oh, you looking at the name of the
Nakatomi Tower? That's right. I'm calling this building the Nakatomi Towers of San Antonio. 4th floor, Nakatomi Towers, penthouse suite.
Hey, dude, the cat. They will throw all the money out to make us accommodable.
Yeah, and then we got Tom Seaver behind Earl. We got our baseball decorations going, which is
I forgot my fucking poster. Forgot what player it was, to be honest, but I forgot the little poster I was going to bring in. It's a little framed, so I'll have to get that. And I want to invest in a badass blazer. Like I'll be looking like you pretty soon.
Gotta have the blazer.
And I'm gonna try to see if I can get us some like 3BGB patches so we can sew them on the blazers, so we look official, you know.
Yep.
So like when we walk around, like if we go get some headphones or something, we'll have our emblem on us. Like those guys are professionals. You know.
Well, it's Goodyear Park now, but
what's that?
Here. It was like I forget the name of the field that he's at. I'm trying to find that. I think it's like 1980. Was Al Lopez Field. So we got Tom Seaver, the franchise. And the story on the piece behind you, Earl, 3-panel piece. What is that, like 5 feet tall? Somebody took a photo of Tom Seaver just lounging, just leaning up against the left field wall right next to the foul pole.
Oh, thing behind me.
Yeah, and all you can see is like one advertisement for the Pyramid School and then the dimensions of 342 down the left field line. And I was like, well, that ain't Riverfront, but he's wearing his whites, so it's got to be spring training. And so you go to baseball Twitter and be like, dude, post the pictures, like, where is this field? And people's like, Al Lopez Field. So that's what it is. Al Lopez Field, I believe Tampa, Florida. Yes, that's where the Reds did it. I bet that picture is like 19. I forget when Seaver went to the Reds, but I think that's like 80 or 81 right there.
I would assume so, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. Do we want to roll into Punk? Because we've solved the lockout. The solution is fucking wait.
I agree. Like
until they
it's
figure
crazy
it
that how
out.
a bunch of dudes who aren't involved in the baseball business can solve a lockout. They're probably listening to it right now. They're like, here's the thing though. Here's my question. How are they listening to it when it's not a live feed? That's what I want to know.
I don't know. I think somebody will get it to the Major League Baseball executive offices and then also the Players Union. They'll
hire
both
us
listen
as
to this together.
Not baseball owners, but co-commissioners of the MLB since the current one just stepped down.
Yeah, Manfred's out. Nobody liked him anyway.
Piece of shit.
I never met the guy in person. Wasn't necessarily a fan from the outside looking in, but again,
he drinks his beer warm. He's one of those kind of guys. So you already know he's an asshole right off the bat.
He was a lawyer. As a lawyer, I can tell you he probably was an a-hole, which is like the Goodell model. They get these dudes from the executive office.
I wouldn't consider you an asshole.
I think I'm paid to be an asshole if you hire me. Right? I have to advocate for you. I don't even care if you're wrong, Earl.
So if
I don't even care if you robbed the bank. I'm gonna say it was
Ernie, come save my ass, and you'll be on your way.
That's how the adversarial system works. I have to argue my ass off for you.
Yeah.
So Manfred's out. I don't know if they're going to interim or what they're doing, but I'm pretty sure that they're both going to listen to this podcast. And you give your advice to them. To the Players Union and Major League Baseball owners on what they should do, and then I'll give my advice.
To figure out this lockout and get baseball going again?
Yeah.
Get off your high horse. Just honestly, dudes, just pay what the baseball players want because it's not that much higher of a raise, I don't think. I think that's good. I think just fucking give them the money they want. Because think about it. I know they're employees of your company, but at the same time, they bring you in a lot of money. So I think it's just time to share a little bit more wealth with them.
Here's one thing I would do.
Go for it.
This is a plan. I'm not saying it's going to happen.
And I'm talking out my ass about that. Yeah. About that assessment. So
here's my idea. If you're going like mediation or arbitration, there's going to be some back and forth, but at some point there's going to be probably the right draft, like a middle ground draft that's, somewhere near like if split the baby, both people get screwed. And I don't know if I wonder if all 30 ownership groups have to sign it. That's a lot of signature blocks.
Sign what?
Sign the new collective bargaining agreement. Like you got to wait till it gets passed. Like everybody's got to freaking sign, or like it's just like one on behalf of the owners.
They're all the teams in the league, so they're gonna of course have to sign it.
Because I feel like the players union has reps, so there's only gonna be like those reps signing it. But here's what you do: you take everybody down to like the Holiday Inn, you get those ballrooms or whatever.
Yeah, they had big meetings.
Big
and stuff.
Ballroom. You get them all in there, get all the owners in there, and then you lock the doors in there, and you get them all hammered. And give them a lot of psychedelic drugs. And then all around the room are tables with the agreement and just a lot of pens. Right? So now they're just out of their gourds. And there's not much they can do except maybe drink more alcohol and sign things.
Or what you do is you follow up on that idea, right? You give them a bunch of alcohol and shit. Give them all swords, and whoever's the last man standing, that's the side who wins. So if there's an owner who's standing, the players have to agree with the owners on the lockout, and if the player is standing, the player representative, the players get the bargain deal signed.
I like that.
So while they're high and jacked up on acid and alcohol, give them all swords.
But what if one of your favorite players is a player rep and he gets his arm chopped off?
Look, when it comes to cutting deals, that's a chance I'm willing to take.
For the Holy Grail.
That's a chance I'm willing to take.
You're willing to take to get a job done?
Yeah. If it's at the cost of one of my favorite players, what's his name? He-Man Choi from the Rays, the first baseman. Dude, he's gonna survive that.
He will survive that.
If you see him, he's built, dude.
He's built.
He's no problem. You can cut his arm off.
And you know what's even better?
What's that?
Both of our ideas get the freaking job done.
Right.
And we start on an opening day.
So Battle Royale solved. Hey, MLB Baseball, please listen. Follow these easy rules.
Side note, one cool thing about this office is we're like in the airport flight path, so you always get to see the jetliners coming in.
I agree. So the ocean has disappeared, and it's now a city in front of us, but there's a plane now. That's the
beautiful city of San Antonio.
That's the thing about these offices. Things in front of it will constantly change.
Yeah.
We're living in a simulation, so
So that's the lockout. If you're a fan, solution is drink cold beer and wait.
Don't be an asshole and drink warm beer.
Don't bitch. It's not going to change anything. And if you're the players, You need to take either Earl's idea or my idea or both.
Combine the battle royale.
Combine them.
Last man standing wins.
Get crazy out of your head. Introduce some weapons, pens, agreements. Done.
Can I? If there's any advice I take away from this day, from today, or that I want people to know, don't be like Manfred and be an asshole. Don't drink warm beer. Don't be that guy.
Ice cold. I can't handle my alcohol anymore. I don't even know. When did we start, Earl? How long have we been going?
I don't know. We just been bullshitting.
We've been bullshitting. This thing stopped. I don't even know if this thing's recording anymore.
Oh, you know what? Audacity stopped too.
Audacity stopped too?
Yeah, I don't think it's recording in Audacity.
Nah, it's totally recording.
It is?
Yeah. I can see. There's got to be. Yeah, it's still going. We've been going for an hour. We're crushing it.
So the thing is about this podcast is it's going to be raw. It's going to be edited a little bit, but it's not going to sound too professional because sometimes things too polished, I don't want to listen to them because it doesn't sound like actual people talking.
Yeah. Well, we're crushing it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we're probably number one podcast in America.
I listened to our podcast last night and I enjoyed it, and it's weird hearing myself talk, but it was pleasing, meaning it was just two dudes chilling talking about shit.
You keep chilling. I'm setting the mic down because that's how professionals do it, and I'm going to go grab a water. You want a water, buddy?
No, I'm okay.
Got the coffee going?
So while he's getting water, I guess I'm taking over and talking about stuff, huh? Oh, he's back. Never mind. I was going to discuss something.
The office isn't that big. I got to wet the whistle with all the bullshit.
Because I was going to take over this fucking podcast.
You can take it over. But you got to have somebody to talk to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I can bullshit to myself, but that makes sense. So let's transition into punk. You want to talk about punk?
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about punk music.
I'll talk about what I like about punk. So I like 90s pop punk or skate punk. It's all that realm, 90s stuff, basically.
Can I just interject one thing about that?
Go for it.
There's going to be some pussies out there that are going to be like, oh, yeah, punk, hardcore shit. And they're going to try to get hard on you. And those people need
That's
to know.
That's what she said. Oh, anyway, whatever.
Need to know that I will put them in a figure 4 in Boston Crab until they open up their phones and all their old MP3 players and all their shit until I find the Blink 182. And then I was like, all that shit you were talking, you like that
See,
song.
what they don't understand about the Pacific Northwest is where you're from in Tacoma, Aroma. That's real. Shit's gonna, like, you ever been to a show in Tacoma with the Aroma?
Yeah.
It was
Tacoma Dome.
It was wild.
I think it's the largest wooden dome.
It was wild. I think back in the 80s when I was like 4, you and I saw some hardcore bands there.
Tacoma was nice.
I about lost my life when I was 3.
But there are many. I mean, I'll let you get back to the stuff you like in punk. But when people hear pop, then they want to try to flex on it.
Yeah.
Like they don't. Like everybody didn't jam out to that. And this isn't punk, but like I love Willie Nelson. I like the Rolling Stones.
Okay.
You know, you want to start talking about Minor Threat. Now you're talking my ball game.
You like the 80s hardcore
I like where I know you're going to thrash when you get in the pit.
Mm-hmm.
Fast, loud, don't really understand what you're saying a lot. Sounds pretty angry. I like that. I like the pop too, though. Like if you're going to tell me, he's like, oh, you like that song? Everybody like Blink 182. That was like in all those American Pie movies or whatever.
See, that's the thing that like people don't understand.
This is good music. Good music is good music.
It's catchy, but like if you actually listen to it, they're pretty well written songs.
Yeah.
Now, granted, yes, there are some
You're a
songs.
musician. You're coming from professional background.
I guess. I mean, I played a couple
paid gigs.
Shit, I hit the wire. Hope nothing fucked up. But
I'm glad you hit the wire.
Dude,
and I'm
I totally
glad stuff fucked up.
Yeah,
I saw the camera jiggle, but I think that's like live action shot there.
Oh, dude, it's an effect. Like, wow, earthquake in fucking South Texas and fucking Monday. What day is it? Tuesday? 11:30 in the goddamn morning. Earthquake in Texas. Anyway, but yeah, some of those songs, were written just straight for radio. Mm-hmm. But like a lot of the other quote unquote pop punk songs, they're actually well written and thought out. They're not, just put together. And
what would you say top 3 favorite punk bands? Or just, you don't have to be top 3. People like lists, but I know like
that
you like
I love
pop punk, like stuff that you like.
So number 1 is MXPX. It's my favorite band of all time.
Yep.
Straight from Bremerton, Washington, across the pond from Seattle, your hometown.
Yep, Bremerton. Take the ferries over there, play some pickleball.
There you go. So you know. And then my second favorite band is Blink 182.
Yep.
And my third band, see, that's hard because I like a lot of.
It's
bands.
hard to. It sounds like it's impossible. Yeah, I like Beastie Boys. Beastie Boys did a lot of punk stuff
before they were like a rap group. Yeah, I never heard their stuff.
They didn't even throw punk. Like if you get their albums, like even like they'd mix. There'd be punk shit on like.
And you and I are starting a band too.
Albums. Yeah, we are. I gotta learn play guitar.
Just learn power chords, and we'll
like the Isotopes or whatever. Maybe that's the third one. Baseball punk.
I love that band. Is my favorite band? No. Is my top 10 band? No. But they're cool.
They're awesome. But I think a lot of my content in the band, once I learn like 3 chords, is like I'm maybe starting to write a song about the shift and how I beat the shift with a bunt. Ooh. Like you think I'm a pull hitter. I beat the fucking shift. Da-da-da-da-da. Yeah. I beat the fucking shift.
Fuck you, motherfucker.
I think that's a good song there.
Hardcore baseball punk, definitely.
Hardcore, yeah. That sounded like more like metal, but I think I could come up with a more kind of like ska rhythm and get some
ska
stuff.
Well, like,
yeah. Shout out.
Real Big Fish, Less Than Jake.
Yeah, ska stuff.
Skank and Pickle.
Somehow there's some relationship between ska and punk crossover. It seems
absolutely, in the 90s, yeah, that was a huge thing in the 90s. People took like ska, kind of sped it up, added a little punk to it, a little pop punk to it, and made it kind of fun.
Yeah. What else? Give me some more on punk, girl. You know so much about it, and then I'll.
What do you want to know?
I guess I'll go like. So one thing I love about punk genre is there's a lot about it that I think's hilarious. And we have Mark Sultan's website, so we can try to listen to the space shits. But, like, that's hilarious to me. Like, you came up with, like, what's our band name? We're the Space Shits. And I can break that down on a number of levels. Because the word we all know is spaceship.
You know there's a band. I don't remember the genre. I've never heard their music. Mm-hmm. They're called the John Cougar Concentration Camp. I've never heard their music. I have no clue what they sound like. I just know that band exists.
Yeah, I mean, that's wrong. That's wrong on so many levels, and you're not allowed to laugh at that.
Speaking of like so many levels that are wrong, I wanted to start a band called what was that guy that blew up the Oklahoma City bombing? I wanted to call a band called the Timothy McVeighs.
Oh my God! Don't get us arrested on the first podcast.
But then I realized, even if I shortened it to the McVeighs, that would still rub people the wrong way.
Oh God! Yeah.
And so I was like, I can't do that.
No, don't do that. That's gotta get.
Could you imagine going to like seeing on the poster or the bill of the band, the Timothy McVeighs?
Yeah.
I think some people like would laugh at it, would get it, but yeah, a lot of people would be like, you can't do that.
I'm not advocating that one. But the space shits. That's
great
like
name too.
Where you just catch people off with the.
Because you're like spaceships? No,
spaceships. And then they're like, no, we're the space shits. And then also the idea that you could, what if you take a shit in space? That's a space shit. That's pretty funny.
Or their spaceship is a pile of shit, so it's a space shit.
Yeah. Your ship is a piece of shit. You call it a space shit.
Shit is fucking space shit.
Maybe in the future, all the future movies where everybody's like got their own spaceship and you're just driving around like the Millennium Falcon. There's gonna just like you can drive like a fucking a 98 Toyota Corolla right now. That's a piece of shit car. You can have a piece of shit spaceship.
Or maybe here's a third idea. Maybe they just love space stuff. They like to talk about space shit. The space shit's like a bunch, the typical space shits.
Yeah, the space shits.
There's so many things.
But that's kind of like I like that about punk, that there's a lot of just counterculture stuff. It could never be mainstream.
Even now,
it's
there's
pretty
still stuff
funny.
that exists.
Yeah, so that's I don't know. I do like the harder, faster stuff.
Not me, man. I like that poppy punk shit.
I guess I just Minor Threat's the fave.
I like Ramones too a lot.
The Ramones are they're more mainstream rock. I'm not a music guy, but they have all kinds of good stuff. The Beastie Boys punk I really liked. Who else is there? It's all DC punk. Washington DC just had a really good punk scene.
Brack Flag, but I hate Brack Flag.
Really? I didn't have anything against Brack Flag. I didn't listen to them as much as
Bad Brains.
Bad Brains. Bad Brains. That's it. DC punk right there.
Yeah.
So
they were a little aggressive.
Yeah, aggressive.
But also, I think too, some of those people were like hardcore people, but they were kind of like, let's not destroy each other either. Let's just kind of have fun. You can mosh and do all that shit, but don't disrespect people for no reason.
Yeah.
I think that's why sometimes a lot of people they went away from like harder bands and started playing pop punk because they got tired of the scene and the people.
Yeah.
Like they're like, this shit's too aggressive and the people are like overtaking the scene and
they're too hard with it. All the straight edge stuff.
Yeah, because like some straight edge people are like cool about it, and then some people are like really aggressive. Like, how dare you come to my show and drink alcohol? Fuck you. But no, overall, I just like punk because a lot of the songs and lyrics are relatable, and it's just fun. Right, you know?
Yeah, I'm 100% agree with you, and I'm going to take you, we're going to try our sound to see if, because I don't have,
oh, you're going to play like
headphones.
A clip or something?
Yeah, I'm going to play you some Mark Sultan.
Okay, and I will definitely let you know if I can hear it.
And you can, let me know if you can hear it, and then when we listen to this podcast later,
I'll
we'll see if it's
no
actually
bueno.
made it into audition.
See.
And then you can tell, so Mark Sultan.
So I'm going to say C if I can hear it. I'm going to say no bueno if I don't hear nothing. Okay.
That sounds good. Okay, so here's the thing on Mark Sultan. Mark Sultan was a member of the Space Shits. Okay. And how I came about the Space Shits was the Canadian movie Fubar,
which is a great movie.
A great movie, and they made two. And I actually think I saw the second one and didn't realize it was a sequel, and I thought it was fucking hilarious.
So for people who may not know what Fubar is, it's fucked up beyond all repair.
Yes, or all recognition.
But most people, I think, know that phrase. Probably.
Yeah,
right?
Most people do, I think.
Most adults, I would say.
But if you haven't seen the movie Fubar, watch it.
And then after you watch it, watch Trailer Park Boys.
Yeah, TPB. TPB is the gold standard for anything in life. Yes. Honestly, the greatest show of all. I don't know why I'm like I love Canada, and so much funny shit comes out of that country.
What's that other show that Letterkenny? That shit's funny too. That's from Canada.
Is it Canadian? I didn't know that.
Absolutely.
TPB. Funniest show ever made.
Every scene, every segment of that show that I've seen so far.
That's why award ceremonies, like I don't know, like Oscars or Emmys, like they lose my respect. I was like, this is the greatest show ever made, and how does it not have every award that was ever given?
Sometimes I think people put too much into production quality over actual like
well-written show.
Yeah, they're like, oh man, this had cool effects and the scenes had all cool lighting, but
comedic geniuses.
Yeah. Trailer Park Boys. Now, I wish they wouldn't have made their show like so well produced like later on. Like it kind of lost that camera feel to it.
Edge. They took they did it like another show, took a break, and then came back to it. But it's still
great.
It's still
funny.
Mount Rushmore. Yeah. It's still the mountaintop of comedy. But anyway, Fubar's like that. It's a very Canadian comedy. It's hilarious.
Two dudes are like construction workers. I think,
yeah. Right? It's. The one I saw had a suicide pact at the end that they're trying to
I've never seen the second one, but
it's priceless. But one of the guys, okay, back to the point. One of the guys in the movie, it was in, I was like, who is this guy? It's funny because there's some musical shit in there. Like they were like doing some like rocking out.
Yeah, like metal music and shit. Yeah.
And so I was like, this dude, and I was so enamored by the movie. I like looked up the actors or whatever. I was like, okay, this guy was in a band called CPC Gangbang. CPC Gangbang.
Can you even find their music anywhere?
Which is, it's like on Spotify, I think, or I found
Spotify?
it, or maybe YouTube. But CPC Gangbangs, also another hilarious band name. And CPC, as I believe they mean it, is Conservative Party of Canada. So Conservative Party of Canada Gangbangs.
I like it.
Which is great. So the dude in Fubar was in that. And then I think he went from CPC Gangbangs, and I think you know how I think you find this? Spotify Discover. And if that isn't a plug for why Spotify should like hire us for $10 million.
See, and that whole Joe Rogan stuff and all that, like I don't give a fuck. Like I'm not gonna not listen to Spotify stuff.
It's an awesome way to find music, and I think that's how I found the Space Shits, by looking up CPC Gangbangs, and there's like discover more. But so that guy went to the Space Shits, and Mark Sultan, Canadian, I think he's out of Montreal, does some really cool music. It's not all punk, and he's got a great website, and he's got some clips on there.
He has his own solo stuff too. When I was listening to the Space Shits last night, I also listened to one of his like solo, I guess, music. It was all right, but the Space Shits were cool.
Okay, so I'm gonna play you the Space Shits song right off of his website and into our soundboard,
and we'll discuss it while it's playing.
Well, you listen to it. and you can say whatever. I can't hear it because I'm a dumbass who doesn't have headphones because we don't have the right gear.
We'll get you some headphones.
But the best part is we'll be able to see when we listen to our podcast, like, oh, shit, we can actually plug in cell phones and play music.
So what we'll do is we'll just keep
and take calls. We could take calls on my cell phone. Okay.
So this audio that's being recorded right now, before you hit play, it'll be like the actual audio, right? Like, it won't be like coming off your phone or anything. So when it's played on the podcast, you can actually hear the actual song.
Let's see here.
We'll find out.
Let's see here. Mark Sultan.
There's
one space shit song that I see here, and it's called "More Abuse."
Play
Classic.
it. Fuck
Sounds like hard, angry.
Play it.
Space shit song. Here's a space shit "More Abuse."
Because I can hear it. You can't hear it, can you?
Can't hear a thing.
So you're only going to be able to hear this when you're playing back the episode. But it's badass, dude. It's fucking it's classic punk for sure. I like it.
All right, we'll let that run. Another 10 seconds.
Oh, that's right, because we don't have copyright music to play.
All right. So that was the Space Shit's More Abuse. You want another number from Mark Sultan?
Sure. That song was cool, man. Like I said, I discovered last night when I was editing the first little raw podcast, I was sitting there on YouTube and was like, huh, Space Shits, that's right, Ernie told me about it. So I went and listened to Space Shits because I was listening to the podcast and I heard you talking about that band. So I was like, let me go look them up finally, and I did.
All right.
And I watched a live show too. They had someone that recorded a live show of them.
Yeah.
It was badass.
I gotta get more into this stuff. So here's another one. This one he did he called himself King Khan. Like, not Kong, but Khan.
Like his band name?
King Khan. Yeah, Mark Sultan did. And he had this thing. He did the King Khan and barbecue show. There's a couple tracks here. I'm going to play you. You get a choice. King Khan and the barbecue show. So the first song is Take Me Back. Or, we can play them both, really. But the other one's Killing the Wolfman. But we should play a couple
definitely Killing the Wolfman.
Killing the Wolfman? All
Hell
right,
yeah.
Tell me what you think of this one.
See, I'm already bobbing my head, so you know it's solid.
What do you think so far?
I like it. How I've never known about this guy, like, you know, browsing around and searching for bands, how he never came up once, doesn't make sense.
All right, here's another one. Oh, there's a whole bunch of more shit on here.
That's right, because we can't play the whole song.
Space Shit song, The Ice Pick. The other good punk band, Les Sexerinos, was another good punk band. And I'm not sure if the guy, excuse me, the guy from CPC Gangbang might have been Les Sexerinos too.
So this is like a circle of bands that this guy has done, right?
Yeah, I think all these dudes know each other.
So it's like
they're just like club. There's like all these clubs.
That's kind of like where I'm from in Dallas. There was like the city Denton where the University of North Texas is, and it would be like the same group of dudes but in different kind of bands.
Yeah, you always got to find like a drummer. Like
it was always the same dudes with like one or two, like one different person.
Yeah,
and sometimes they would
awesome
they would change
like
their style. Like, we're gonna start a pop punk band, but then we're gonna play in a hardcore band. But it was
Yeah, the whole music scene, like all the like a lot of musicians know each other because they swap around bands.
Yeah,
and then they all know all the bartenders and the dudes that own the bars because you got to book that.
So
shit.
I recently, this guy on Facebook who added me like a year ago. I never spoke to him, and randomly I started talking to him recently. He's in a punk band from San Antonio.
Oh yeah.
And so I'm like, dude, like, hook us up. Like, I want to get back into the scene, like the punk scene. He plays in a really badass punk band from this city called Destroy Orbison, and you would love him.
Destroy Orbison?
He plays in that band. He's a drummer.
That is a great fucking punk band name.
So after we're done here, I want to show you a song or two, and dude, you're gonna be like, fuck yeah, they're really cool.
Okay, we'll listen to Destroy Orbison. All right, I got a whole bunch of stuff on. We're gonna do one more Mark Sultan song. And if Mark Sultan ever hears this, I'm telling you,
I'm becoming a huge fan of his just based off these couple of songs.
Yeah, and if he wants to sue us for like illegally using his music, I will settle out of court. I will not fight you. How much ever money we make on this podcast, which could be millions.
By the way, I'm not sure if my camera's still recording or yours is, but we have donuts from 7-Eleven and they're very delicious. So 7-Eleven, if you ever hear this,
7-Eleven.
please sponsor us.
Please sponsor us.
We love your donuts
the
and your
money
coffee.
will probably go to Mark Sultan because we're illegally using his music.
And I will say this too. I don't like coffee, but I like this coffee. So 7-Eleven, great job. Like, you know what I mean?
Advertising plug. I think advertising will listen to us see how freaking viciously we plug.
Like, dude,
Just
hard
7-Eleven plug in their stuff.
They're like, fuck.
Sell you. You ever see like a commercial and it's like some like, you know, this guy was like a TV star in the 70s or something, but now he's old and he's selling like, you know, cream for old people.
Blue
or like,
Emu?
or like life insurance. He's like, you need to get this and you can trust me because
Yeah.
you remember me from that show. I'm like, fuck, I'll be that guy.
Yeah.
Buy this cream for your knee.
Come to 7-Eleven, get some
I'll plug
donuts and a
anything.
cup of coffee.
You know what? We don't even need a podcast. The entire hour could just be commercials. I'll just read.
We'll be readers. We'll endorse all kinds of products.
I'll just plug it and talk about how awesome
So,
Margaret.
what you're saying is we'll become sellouts?
Yeah, sell out hard.
All we
Nothing
have on the
wants a
wall
regular
is
job.
banners of different companies.
All right, we'll do one more. We'll do one more Mark Sultan. Oh no, we're gonna do less Sexerinos. We're gonna do less Sexerinos. This band. This one's called Let's Go.
Well, let's go.
All right.
Have a cool bass intro. It sounds like it's live. But I love the rawness of it, dude. That's what I like about like punk. Sometimes the recordings, it's so raw. It's great.
Like 30 seconds in. I think that's a good sample. Pause it. All right, so we got some. Check out marksultan.com. Big fan.
That was
Both
cool.
big fans.
That was cool as fuck.
And
So
we
what was
test to
that?
see if that. What was that?
That was like his solo thing, or
No, that was Les Sexerinos. Another kind of like punk band.
dude. That was like
together.
like I said, I'm shocked. I've never fucking heard of these dudes.
It's like all like I don't know, Space Shits, Les Sexerinos, and CPC Gangbang. Somehow it was like one of those things where you're talking about all these bands kind of like intermingle with different
Yeah.
dudes. Change out a couple.
Usually how it goes. They'll have the same dudes and they'll replace
Yeah.
one guy.
Let's see where we're at on our audition. Right at 1:30. We're getting pretty close to where we could wrap it and have a pretty good.
So
hour 30
we'll
minute-
go ahead and wrap it up. And
We'll wrap it up here.
next episode, we promise, it'll be a little bit more organized. We'll have, but like I
Okay.
said, this podcast is just bullshit pretty much.
Yeah, it's bullshit. Yeah, I think that was a good. I think it was a good first.
Yeah.
I mean, I listen to some podcasts. Some of them are, really good and informational. Like, some guys has a hardcore history podcast.
Yeah.
That dude researches the hell out of it. I don't know where he finds the time.
Sometimes I prefer podcasts where it's just like not so much research,
Yeah.
because then I kind of lose interest in it because it's so polished. It's like, in 73, this guy had a batting average 4.5, and it's just like, you know what I mean?
We're just your two buddies.
Yeah. I don't.
And cursory knowledge on anything we talk about. But I bet you somebody, or the one person who does listen to this, will probably, I hope they Google remote viewing and go
Right.
down the extrasensory perception rabbit hole with us.
Wish how they can like, man, these guys can fucking see shit without actually being there. What
Yeah.
the fuck?
But baseball lockout, not worried because
This season, I think, will happen. It'll be late.
It'll
but
happen. We're probably losing games. Probably not the whole season.
It won't be a hunt for October, and it won't be a hunt for November, because the playoffs will go in through November.
It'll be something. What else should we wrap with? That's 3BGB episode 1 in the can.
I'm gonna post the first one. At this point, when you're listening to this, has already been posted for a while.
Yeah.
So this one, when you're listening to it now, you can have an understanding, because it's two kind of like clips or episodes, I guess you can call them.
Yeah.
Like a pre-episode, and then this is like our first one.
We do some bump music. I wonder, and I can figure out the soundboard. Get headphones next time. We can have our applause and laughter.
By the way, the music that you're going to be hearing from that first little test episode that I showed you earlier,
Yeah.
I just got it from The Wolf Because,
yeah.
Because like I could still use the school login.
I actually have a DeWolf license.
So what I did was I typed in punk music, and the song I decided to use was some song called Dinosaur Barbecue.
Nice.
That was the intro and outro.
Man, I appreciate the work you're doing. I'm so limited.
And
on
it's
time.
like, you know, it's listening to a podcast for over an hour and editing. It takes a while.
It does.
That's why like we had that soundbite for like 2 weeks, and it's just now. Like last night, we touched with it and stuff.
Yeah,
it's kind of hard because we're both full-time adults and shit.
I know. Work, kids, trying to make it happen. We got ourselves, but we do have off space. We're trying to live the podcast dream.
But at the same time, if we ever get an opportunity, we will, because yeah. But when this becomes like a full-time thing, we can it'll be easier to focus on.
I'm watching all these other people make podcasts. It's like, look at this.
Plus, with videos and shit, it's like almost like an enterprise we're starting.
I think that's what I heard during the pandemic, that Amazon sold out a podcast mic because there's just millions of geniuses or idiots just like us. They're like, I'll do a podcast. And then that's exactly what we're doing. We're like, I don't know if anybody will listen or not, but I think it's hilarious.
We're going to have to find out how to also record this as well, but also do like a Twitch live stream so people can listen and watch us.
I want them to call in.
Yeah.
And shit talk.
Now, that's another thing we have to figure out, how to record these mics into a live.
I better get a burner phone. All these fucking people calling my phone at the house when I'm going to sleep.
Calling for it. Hey, you Ernie, at 4 a.m. Are you want to talk about stuff?
I guess we'll have to get a dedicated line if we're plugging it into the soundboard. All right. Well, I could just talk forever, but I gotta shut the F up.
Yeah.
I appreciate
and plus, I kind of want to
Earl.
eat this donut, and I don't want to be eating a donut and talking, because it'll be like
that is a
little
good donut. That's the
sound you
Homer
just heard.
Simpson right there. The pink,
That's
pink
my
sprinkles.
favorite one. See, that's that remote viewing.
Yep.
You saw what was going on in my head.
That's right.
Like, pick that pink donut up, boy. But so yeah, that's it.
That's a wrap.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see y'all next time.
Yeah.
Look me up on Twitter. Let me give the Twitter profile one more time for those. I want to see if there's anybody out there that actually ever would listen.
So I'm like I said, I'm gonna start like a legit like 3BGB like YouTube channel where I'll post our episodes. Like, it'll be like a little picture with audio attached, so people can
they can find it.
Yeah.
So it's the Twitter is T. Texas Tony Turnstile at BMB_baseball. But I think the way Twitter works, you don't need that first part. If you just put at BMB_baseball. And what BMB was supposed to be is I was going to do a magazine called Baseball Must Baseball, bilingual. So I get both the North America and South America to read my magazine. I don't know if that's ever going to happen. But anyway, at BMB Baseball, hit us up. Me and Earl will definitely fucking talk to you, because I think we have one listener.
Yeah. And it's by the time they hear this, the first one will be out, like I said, and so this one will be out, and it may be a month from now before this thing we're talking.
Episode 2, right?
But that's okay, because it takes a while to edit.
Yeah. By then, our episode 2, we do like the teaser. Is that what they do? Tease.
Ooh.
I'll be talking all about Korean baseball, Japanese baseball, their spring training, transition.
You know what we need to talk about
over
too?
the ocean.
You got to talk about the Negro Leagues, because those were really fascinating.
Oh, Negro Leagues are major leagues. I got the Saber book in the mail, and I got a limited edition piece of art that the Negro Leagues are major leagues that I'm going to get framed.
Those
at
Kansas City
frame
Monarchs,
shop.
legendary.
Very good. And they're doing, I would have to say, Baseball Reference is doing really some great things, getting Negro League statistics up. So you can actually see a lot of different stuff. Cool Papa Bell. I forget what it was he said. I think Satchel Paige was the one that says, like, Cool Papa Bell, like, what do you say? Like, hit a double and the ball hit a line drive up the middle and it hit him when he was rounding second or something like that because he was so fast. I don't know.
And if you remember in the Sandlot, the kid, the pitcher, has a Kansas City Monarchs hat on.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Sandlot's classic. We're going to have to do some movie reviews, too.
Baseball ones.
Yeah.
Bull Durham, Sandlot.
Yeah.
What's it called? Major League? The one with Charlie Sheen and all that?
Yeah, Major League. Okay, we'll wrap it. That's the tease for the next one. We'll see y'all next time. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah.
We out.
See you later.